What's up, y'all? This is Lil WB at SlabOgsTv back at it again with the Slab History 101. Today, I'm doing the OG that I done interviewed in the past, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's right to have him on Slab History 101, you know what I'm saying? Just all the accolades that he done had, all the cars he didn't put together, you know what I'm saying? And what he really did for the culture, you know what I'm saying? So today, I'm going to be talking about Book. Now, Book is from Acres Homes. I don't know where specifically in Acres Homes. I don't know if it was Carver Park. I can't really remember when we did the interview which specific part of Acres Home he said, but he from Acres Home, you know what I'm saying? If anybody knows that's from Houston or not, Acres Homes is probably the biggest neighborhood in Texas and in a lot of states, really, you know what I'm saying? Biggest black neighborhoods uh, in Houston for sure. But, even back in the day, mid 80s, you know what I'm saying, even to the early 80s, you had a lot of OGs out of Acres Homes that I always hear about. I know for sure RB, you know what I'm saying, Roosevelt, he had, I think, a 77 Regal or 77 Grand Prix. But, during this time, you got the no back seat 6x9s, you know what I'm saying? So I talked to a lot of OGs from the South Side, in South Park, and they always talk about them boys out of Acres Home, you know what I'm saying, that came to the South Side, was all around the city, crank it up contest with all the music in their cars, you know what I'm saying? Drop to the ground, Hollywood tops, you know what I'm saying? So this is kind of like what, Book came up seeing these OGs and Acres Home riding around in these slabs, you know what I'm saying, that, eventually made him want to get his first car. And I think his first car he got was when he was 14 years old, I think in 1988, if I'm not mistaken. His 10th grade year was a 1975 Pontiac. Took the back seat out. Well, I don't know if he took the back seat out, but I know he had 6x9s across the back deck. Didn't have elbows on it, but you had 30s and Vogues, you know what I'm saying? So even during this time, the earlier stages of the slab, and when I mean early, I'm gonna say all of the 80s, you know what I'm saying, and early 90s to the mid 90s. If you ain't have elbows on your car, swangers on your car, and if you had 30s and Vogues, you know what I'm saying, hammers and Vogues, I mean, you was still clean, you know what I'm saying, as long as your car was looking good, those wheels still, the 30s and Vogues, they still made your car look good. It still complimented the car, you know what I'm saying, but it just wasn't the elbows, that we all know and love nowadays, you know what I'm saying. But his first car, nevertheless, his first car was when he was 14, Pontiac Grand Prix 1975, you know what I'm saying. So that was the first one. He had a lot of cars over the years, so I'm not gonna really go over all the cars he had, because I know just in the 90s he had a lot of cars, and for sure in the 2000s, early 2000s, he had a lot of cars. I'm just gonna kind of say the cars that a lot of people might know him for, you know what I'm saying. I think the first time he went Candy, if I'm not mistaken, was Candy Purple, before the green. A lot of people nowadays know Buck for riding green, but I want to say his first, like maybe first two cars was Candy Purple, you know what I'm saying? It was a Delta and it was a 91 Fleetwood, you know what I'm saying? So, Candy Purple was hot during that time. I don't think I really see too much Purple nowadays in the slab game, really, but I know when that Burple first dropped, a lot of people will tell me that when that Burple first dropped, it was like, that was kind of like a cool thing too, because, you had a car that was like purple almost. It was like damn near like drink and blue at the same time, so that was a real big thing during that time too. And then I think the first car he went candy green on was the Roadmaster he had, and I think that was in 2000. So I know a lot of people always say, you know what I'm saying, that who started the green? Did it start with this person? Did it start with that person? I mean, I'm going to just leave that up to, the different green, the people that ride green, to kind of debate on that, I'm not going to really say who was the first and who wasn't the first, but in Acres Homes, Buck was, one of the first ones to ride green, and bring green to, his neighborhood, because you got a couple green cars out there right now, it's because of Buck. And during this time, after that, he had the drop Delta, the first drop Delta, Candy Green, When that came out, that was hurting the streets during that time. I'm not sure if that was before Texan Wild Wheels or after. But I know he had that. I want to say it might have been before, but I could be wrong. But eventually, like we all know, Texan Wild Wheels came out, you know what I'm saying? And Vaughn from Texan Wild Wheels, that make the wheels, came up to Buck and was like, this is in the early stages, so I'ma assume maybe like, everybody know Texan Wild Wheels came out in 2006. So I'ma assume that this might be like 04, 05, you know what I'm saying, when he's starting to, get the wheels manufactured and bring them to the streets, you know what I'm saying? Buck was one of those, first few people that Vaughn came to and was like, hey man, like I need help, like pushing these wheels to the streets, you know what I'm saying? And Buck did that, you know what I'm saying? I think for a lot of OGs during that time when Texan Wild Wheels first came out, a lot of people didn't really, gravitate to them because they was like, oh, they not this, they not that. They might have had a flaw in them at first, but, Vaughn had to go back and, reconstruct the wheel to make it to what they is today, you know what I'm saying? So Buck was one of those first people to push the wheel out to the masses with a few others too. Of course, Tony P. I want to say Harold Cheney too. I don't know if he was selling them, but I know for sure Buck, and maybe Stupid Tim, but I know for sure Buck and Tony P for sure was like the two main front runners. You had Tony P on the south side pushing the wheels, then you had Buck on the north side pushing the wheels. And I hear this from a lot of OGs, not even OGs, really, just a lot of people from Acres Home that when Buck was pushing those wheels out, I mean, of course, if you selling wheels, and you want your neighborhood to ride clean, I mean, Buck was selling them to people in his neighborhood. So at one point in time, from what I hear, I mean, when Texan Wild Wheels first came out, that basically Acres Home had the most sets, you know what I'm saying, and of Texan Wild Wheels during that time, because, you had Buck pushing them out like that and pushing them out to people on Homestead, Studewood, Greenspoint, Fifth Ward, and really throughout the whole city, you know what I'm saying? So, and just to speed it up a little bit, eventually he had a candy green Dodge Charger, you know what I'm saying, that hurt the streets, and I want to say after this, maybe if it was this car, he might have had some before then, but I know when them 17 inch swangers came out, you know what I'm saying, pretty much after that I can think of, Buck pretty much rode 17s. There always be like a little debate, like in the slab game nowadays. Nowadays, for sure, what you're supposed to have on your car. Can you have 15 inch on your car? You're supposed to have 15 inch on your car. What cars can you put 17s on? Can you put 20s on a car? You know what I'm saying? I'm saying not length. I'm saying inches from the ground. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't like riding 17s and 20s on old schools, but like I always say, you know what I'm saying, do the slab for you, and Buck like riding 17s, you know what I'm saying, and he make it look damn good too. So then after that, speed it up a little bit more, he had the infamous Cutlass with the 90 front end. This killed the streets too, simply because it had a 90 front end on it. I got to do a little bit more research, you know what I'm saying, just to see if that was the first car to do that. The first Cutlass to have a 90 on there. I mean, I know it's a red one that Craig G had, but that was way after that, you know what I'm saying? But for sure, Buck had that candy green, you know what I'm saying, with Ricks in it. They had Hollywood tops or T-tops, one of the two. I can't really remember. I had to look at the picture again, but for sure, he had one of the cleanest Cutlasses, you know what I'm saying, even to this day, you know what I'm saying, but until my car come out. But he for sure had a clean car, a clean Cutlass, you know what I'm saying, and then, maybe like 10 years went by, you know what I'm saying, he's still selling the wheels, still doing his thing. We came along maybe like a year ago and did an interview, and in the interview, you know what I'm saying, he basically said he got one more in him, you know what I'm saying, so I want to say he got a 73 Delta right now. I think it's a 73, if I'm not mistaken. If I get it wrong, y'all, I ain't really looking at no pictures right now, but I think it's a 73 drop Delta, almost like the same, kind of like the same look as the drop Delta he had back in the day, you know what I'm saying? But hey man, he went all the way with it. When I tell you details matter when it comes to a car, man. Details matter, and Buck definitely showed it on this Candy Green, you know what I'm saying, drop. He said he got one, that was his last one, you know what I'm saying, that he's doing, but hey, man, who knows, you know, you never know in the slab game. You might sell your car, you know what I'm saying, and be like, man, I'm going to do it one more time, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Buck, you know, for just putting on for the culture, you know, putting on for his neighborhood in this side of town, and really and truly making everybody want to ride, you know, swingers. Because, you know, at one point, well, a lot of people tell me too, because, you know, by me being younger, but I do remember being young and seeing slabs, and then for a particular point in time, you just didn't see them as much. And then I remember when Texan Wild Wheels came out. I didn't know, you know, too much like, oh, this is Texan Wild Wheels, these original. All I knew was you had the small wheels, and I know what those wheels look like. And then one day I kind of looked up years later, hey, they was way, way longer, you know what I'm saying? But that was when I was way young. But you got to credit that to Buck, you know, for, you know, as well as other people, but, you know, just getting it out there to where making people want to buy those wheels and put them on, you know what I'm saying, and being that outlook for the streets, you know what I'm saying, that people could go to him, you know, and put cars together, get their wheels from him, you know what I'm saying? So, man, shout out to Buck, you know what I'm saying? If there's anybody you want me to do on the channel, on an interview, Slab History 101, if it's a neighborhood, you know, a side of town or something like that, a person, man, y'all let me know, man. Every Friday at 12 o'clock. I still ain't got this time right for Mondays, but hey, man, just before you go to bed on Monday, make sure y'all look at the channel. Really look at the channel every day, but before y'all go to bed on Monday, I might for sure have a video up, you know. But every Monday, every Friday, 12 o'clock, y'all hit me up. LibWB, SlabOgsTv. We out.